Hello, Diet Rebel Scum and Diet Rebel Scum Curious. Diet Rebel Scum being those of us who have taken the high carb, low fat advice and said to hell with that. We're eating high fat, low carb because we think we were told wrong. And we're not doing that anymore, that madness. Today, I am going to go on a trail run, and I thought I'd take you along with me. I don't do this enough. Trail run or taking you along with me on runs. So today is just going to be a long, low, probably zone 2/zone 3 run, heart rate wise. I've got a new equipment. This will be my first run with this Garmin 265. I just replaced my old Garmin. My old Garmin still works. It was the Garmin Forerunner 45. So they've discontinued that one. It still works just fine. It's just the 265 has some more bells and whistles, and it's sexy. It's got a white band on my tan skin. I think it looks very good. The darker tan my tan gets, the better this watch looks, and I'm kind of vain that way. Anyway, and it's also, you know, it does some more of the interesting metrics, and I just had envy from all my running buddies that have much nicer Garmin watches than I do, and they talk about their sleep scores and all that. And I got the sleep armband thing from Garmin, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that in the last video or not. Don't know if I had it in the last video or not. Probably didn't. It's been damn too long since I've talked to you. So, okay, so I'm gonna take off on this and get going, and I'm gonna shoot for kind of a long run here because I'm thinking about doing an ultra. So we just a couple weekends ago, I don't know how long it's been, 2 or 3 weeks ago, did the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. So I think I'm pretty well recovered from that. I think the last bit of little soreness is gone. I've done a few runs, several runs since then, and I think I'm back to normal. But there's an ultra trail run, a 50K, not 50 miles. I'm not silly, not going to try that. But a 50K in Arkansas coming up June, June 6th, I believe, Saturday. And they have a 25K. They have a few runs. It's the War Eagle Running Festival or something, whatever. It's an annual event, and they've got a 50K. And that's like 31 miles, something like that. And I have never done an ultra trail run. It'll be my first. I've done an ultra running event, but it was one of these times, just however many laps around a paved path you could do in 6 hours. That's what I did before. Yeah, it about killed me. And but anyway, that was a long time ago. So I almost don't even count it. I mean, I did it. You know, I forgot how the timing was messed up. The race guy that they unplugged his electricity at the park and messed up the results. So I might not even be officially in the results of that thing. So that was just kind of a spur of the moment insanity thing I participated in. Like I say, it about killed me. It's in the heat of the day. Okay, that's another video. I'm just rambling. So I don't know if you can see it over there. I got a new Jeep Wrangler, white Jeep Wrangler back there in the background. It's quite sexy, I think. It's a good midlife crisis purchase. So, okay, trailhead right over here. I'm gonna take off, and these are my local mountain bike trails that I run at. This is my favorite trail running training spot. So I'm just gonna take off, and I'm gonna kind of leisurely, I'll chime in every now and then as I'm take like little walk breaks to keep my heart rate down. I'm trying to keep my heart rate down in the 120s, somewhere between 120 and high 130s. That is my range that I'm trying to stay within. So I'll be taking, I'll probably be running a few minutes and then walking 30 seconds, something like that. But as I go through this trail run, I might have some rants I'm wanting to do, because that's what I think my channel is evolving. I haven't really quite settled on exactly what I want to do. I just have so much stuff to bitch about with our healthcare world, which bleeds right into the diet world. I keep talking about diet and all that, but it's actually, it's all of it. It's our whole healthcare industry, health and food. You know, they're one and the same. I mean, they go together like peas and carrots. Although I don't think we need to be eating peas and carrots. Oh, it's a complicated world, isn't it? Okay, let's get to running. So here's an example of what I like about this trail and I hate about this trail. Sand. Lots of sand or sandy spots where you're actually running in quite loose stuff. So here's we come out of the woods a little bit, and yeah, here I'm about to run into a bunch of it, but there's this big clearing here. I'm gonna walk for a second. Anyway, yeah, I'm a little over a mile in right now and get an idea of what the weather is. It's overcast, but it's hot and steamy. The humidity's really high. We've had a bit of rain recently, past few days. Things are really greening up, and yeah, it's a steam bath. I'm sweating pretty bad here. Yeah, so I had to turn it around. So I've like got sweat pouring, and it's just 1.34 miles. So I'm doing something different this time. Usually when I have my vest here, I've got a bladder in the back. I usually just do plain water. Sorry, I had a little difficulty. Pop-up came up, and I ended up going into my Yahoo email or something. Anyway, so I don't know if I can. Anyway, I'm doing something different in this. I actually have some zero sugar Gatorade, one of the little packets, little skinny packets, you know, like individual servings, poured in there with almost a teaspoon of salt. So I'm carrying some homemade electrolyte solution in my straw here, or my bladder, so I can sip on that rather than just regular water and having salt that I take separately out of a little thing. I thought, well, I'll just put it in my water with me and see how that goes, because that's more convenient, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna start running just a little bit here. And anyway, this is probably gonna make people sick. And my arm's getting tired of trying to hold the phone steady. I'll chime in a minute. Another walk break. So what I'm trying to do is see, this is a real test to see how long can I last out here on these trails at this very high humidity. I don't know what it is. I have to look it up when I get back. And I know it's in at least getting to be in the mid 80s right now. And the high humidity just makes it a sweat bath, steam bath. Even though thankfully it's cloudy. But this is a test to see. I want to do 50K on trail, similar to this. I'm assuming the Arkansas War Eagle Festival thing. They say those trails are pretty nice as far as like beginner friendly is kind of how they said. Like if you're, you know, I guess a lot of it is not technical, where you're having to dance over big rocks kind of thing. Sounds like it's maybe a pretty manicured trail. So a lot of it is what they say runnable. So, and which is a lot of this mountain bike trails that I train on. You know, I always start out on the easy one, the green trail, which is pretty level. There's some, you know, you still have to watch out for roots and things like that. And there's sand areas I'm on right now. But so there's loose sand. But other than that, it's just up and down. You know, it's nothing that would crash people. Well, the sand would can crash people. But okay, so I'm trying to see how long my feet last. I think I did. What did I do? I did about a half marathon on the trails here just before the full marathon. In training, I was hitting this every few weekends. I was running here, trying to stay busy, about 2 hours. But now I need to push that. I'd like to run maybe all of the mountain bike trail that they have out here on this trip and see if my feet hold up. You know how I've said I had a pretty good breakthrough. I think the neuropathy in my feet, I think I found the culprit, but I'm gonna slam on the brakes on that. It is better, and I'm managing it better. You know, doing the pedicure stuff, kind of keeping the thick dead skin thinner on my bottom of my feet in the forefoot area. I think that's made it's noticeably still okay, but in the marathon, in these longer runs, it can still get pretty bad. So where I can't just ignore it, it's there. But like I did in the Memorial Marathon, but it wasn't really bad until the last 6 miles. So, and that was really on when the street was uneven, putting a lot of side pressure. That for some reason really aggravated it. But anyway, on the trail here, I'm fine right now. But see, I'm only almost 7 miles in right now, and I'm letting my heart rate has gotten back down. But I'm not going to be as anal retentive about the speed here on this trip, because this is about what trying to do a 50K is going to be like if I try to do one here in next month. It's going to be a lot of walking, power hiking up hills. So it's not going to be like burning lighting a fire. I'm not going to be speeding through the trail that I'll be leaving sparks behind. You know, I got to get that out of. It'll just be a survival. Can I finish it in a decent time with, I just want to be in the mid-pack, if possible, of people my age. That's my only goal, is just survive it, enjoy it if I can, suffer. I mean, if I'm not suffering, I won't be able to say I can really enjoy it, because it's part of the suffering. It's what marathons are about, and ultras for sure. They're always, if you're trying to make at least a decent time for yourself, you do need to suffer. And so I'm anticipating suffering. I just wonder, I'd like to get a little foresight into what's going to suffer the worst. Is it going to be my lower back, my feet, just general endurance, electrolyte problems? Am I going to cramp up into a crying heap in a fetal position on the side of the trail at some point? I hope not. I need to learn to manage it. And I have been doing a pretty good job, I think, managing heart rate and effort as I do these workouts on the trail here, and actually in running with my running partners. I'm actually just running their speed because that's kind of close to my zone too. They run a little slower. I used to run faster through the whole thing and do like almost a minute per mile faster than they did, but I was just always breaking down. Seemed like I wasn't gaining anything doing that, so I'm trying to see if I can gain some by holding back, like they're all saying, all the running coaches say these days, but this is all the zone 2 stuff. So, okay, time to get my heart rate back up. I'm down in the 90s now. Okay, check in here in a mile or two. Hey, so I'm 5.3 miles in, and the sun has come out, and it's a freaking steam bath here in the forest. I decided, I wasn't going to take this too fast, but boy, this is probably the slowest I've ever done this trail. And I'm sweating to death. I'm not out of water yet in my bladder. Now, I didn't fill the bladder all the way full. I wasn't starting with it full because I'm gonna be back by my car about every 6 miles or so. So I didn't think it was necessary to have the whole 1.5 liters, whatever it is. But I'm starting to think I should have had the full 1.5 liters and been sucking it down, because my shirt is so freaking wet. It's like I poured water down, a glass of water down my front. I probably lost a couple pounds already. So this may be a 6-mile journey today. I don't know. I'll see what happens when I get back to the car. And I'm actually going to pause my watch. I typically don't do that. I hate that. I like to keep things, keep the clock rolling, make it as hard as possible, so I don't dilly-dally around too much, getting a beverage out of the car. But now I think I'm just going to take it easier and actually fill my bladder back up, and maybe do a second loop for a total of 12. Hopefully make it a half marathon by the time I'm done. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is pretty rough. As far as, I'm keeping my heart rate down. It's only 114 now. It's just, I'm not really feeling too fatigued running wise. I'm huffing a little bit, but I'm keeping it manageable. But I'm just sweating so freaking much that it's got me kind of worried. But that's how Arkansas is going to be. Arkansas's humidity is worse than Oklahoma's humidity. In the summer, Arkansas is downright steam bath in the middle of the night. I don't know if people who live there probably used to it, don't notice it, but boy, you come from a not as humid climate and then go there. Dear God, God help you. So anyway, I don't know if maybe I just didn't start hydrated enough, maybe. Oh, deer tracks. Yeah, there's deer around here. And there's one, I don't know if you see, but anyway, there's some deer tracks. I've seen deer on the run, not today, but in the past. On multiple occasions, I've seen deer running through. But yeah, I'm a little worried today. I may gas out and I don't know, not sure if I want to call it quits at 6 miles when I get back to the car or not. I'm really freaking sweaty, and might make it for another challenge. Maybe next weekend, try to do a half marathon, and maybe start earlier in the morning when it's a little bit cooler, because the ultra marathon, I think that's going to start at 6 in the morning or 6. It's going to start early. So I'm kind of doing a little more of a maybe worst case scenario practice thing here. Yeah, in fact, the more I'm talking about it, you're watching me quit in real time here. I'm talking myself into calling it a day when I get back to the car here. I'll probably, after I shut this off, I'll run the rest of the way and really kind of push, make sure I give 100% today, and enjoy the cold ice, like half gallon of beverage I have at the car waiting for me, and then go have may have a vanilla latte at the coffee shop not too far from here, a few miles away, on my way back to dwell over the Strava and Garmin data. But all right, let's see, what am I at now? I'm at 105. There's a deer. More than one. Hi there. She's looking at me. Hi there. Can I get a video of you? Can you see? I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Hi. She like jumped away. I'm assuming it's a she. I'm not a deerologist. Oh, you see? See? Hey. Hi there. Yeah. She stands sideways, looking this way. Okay, catch you later. Okay, so, all right, back on the run. I'm gonna go ahead and run the rest of the way in and see how I feel back at the car. Yeah, boy, this is a very unpleasant steam bath today. Good work, woo, good workout. I'm glad I'm running. I mean, at least, okay, I'm walking at the moment, but so I've like put in back to back days. Like I haven't taken like a full day off. I think this will be like my 5th day in a row running. So I'm trying to get back up to getting my mileage built back up to like 40 to 50 miles a week and keep that going to start the next block of marathon training. So I'll be starting marathon training in a lot better shape than I have the last few marathons, and hopefully get into the 3:30 something marathon range at my next marathon. That's the hopes. That's what I'm shooting for. But you know what I haven't done on this is I haven't done a rant, and I've got several topics I would like to rant about, but I don't want to do it right now because it takes too long, and I'd be just walking my way back in, which I didn't want to do. I told you I was going to run it in, and the more I'm walking, the less I'm running. But even walking is a freaking steamy sweat bath. I swear, this is something else. It's really good for me, you know, because just think how great the early mornings would feel when it's nice and cool, but still humid, which I love because I love the sweat, but I don't like it to be so freaking steamy hot, which how do you get one without the other? Actually, I'm just miserable because I got this freaking t-shirt. The t-shirt's kind of necessary because I don't want the shoulder straps of my vest to rub and irritate my shoulders. So got to have a shirt on a nice wide sleeve to protect the skin of the shoulders. But then that makes for a lot more fabric. I'd rather have a freaking tank top. I'd rather have a tank top and be carrying nothing. But then I would freaking sweat to death and die here on the trail dehydrated. And I don't want to do that. Or I'd have to keep making loops back to my car and not enjoy most of the trail. Be missing a lot of the trail. Oh man, the trail's been altered. Okay, left. Okay. I think they've added to some trails since I was here last. Part of the normal trail that I ran was blocked off. They had it like signed off, and they had a little diversion that went into the woods on a different route that I hadn't done before. And it looked like it was kind of newly trimmed, like all the trees were trimmed back. So the mountain bike people have been doing some work out here. Thanks to them. They're good folks. All right, I think I'm gonna stop jibber jabbering and I'm gonna try to run the rest of the way in, see if I can make it. All right, let's do this. No yellow trail today. Going back to the car. parking lot. It's my Jeep. Okay, I made it back to my car, and it was at 7.5 something miles, and I just need half more mile to make it 8. So I'm gonna go back into the trail here. It's not far from the park in there. I'm gonna go a quarter mile in, quarter mile back. I'm gonna make sure it's 8 miles plus a little bit, and then I'll be done, I think. I just paused and got a short drink from the car. All right.